Hi, I want to share with you today a piece of art that's in our new African American exhibit called Harlem Renaissance to the Civil Rights from the Smithsonian Institution. This is a large assembly piece, and this is done by Thornton Dial. Thornton Dial is an amazing character to study. He is from the Black Belt part of what we call that area in Alabama. He's one of 12 children born to sharecroppers. Those of you, ask your history teacher, I'm sure you've already covered what a sharecropper is. So he comes up and has all kinds of different jobs before he gets hired by the Pullman Company. When you're studying the Industrial Revolution in America, you're going to study about the Pullman Company. What his job was to make the cars that went on the railroad, both for commuter and for hauling goods. And so he learns a lot about welding in that. He does not know anything about art. What's interesting is that an expression that used to be used a lot was an outside artist. In the 1990s, it became very prevalent to not use that term anymore. It was considered being very condescending or putting someone down. So today we say self-taught. It means he didn't go to any art school, but look at what he creates here. So one of the things that Thornton Dial says about his art, and there's a lot of things he's willing, says he doesn't like to talk about his art, but you can find a lot about what he said about his art. And he said that he did not make art against anyone. He doesn't make art for anyone, but he makes art to show what's wrong in our lives. And this is a perfect example of this. This is called top-of-the-line steel. So what does that mean? This piece was created in 1992 as a response to one of those things that Dial felt was wrong in life. This represents what happens in 1992 when 4 white policemen are acquitted in a trial in which they beat an unarmed man named Rodney King. And Los Angeles' response to that was to have riots. So if we look at this piece, we're going to talk about what in here really symbolizes what was going on at this time in American history. So if you'll notice the colors first, you're going to see a lot of white and black. The white and black represent the conflict that goes on between those two races in America. You're also going to see a lot of vivid red. The vivid red was his way to show how violent these riots became. And then you're also going to see places like this is a really good one to look at. It's a bird. I don't know if you can see that. And it looks like it's made out of, well, I can tell that part of it is metal. But if you look at this bird, it's red, white, and blue. That's going to symbolize patriotism in the United States and the fact that he felt everyone should get along together. The piece it's very large, and it's all pieces of found art. Found art are those pieces that you would just scrap and not do anything else. If you're doing a project, he would save them. If you look here, all of this is just rope. It's just rope that he's used there. And this makes a pattern to kind of show it. Recently, we just saw the insurrection at the Capitol. When you saw that, it was a frenzied mass of people swirling everywhere. That's what this is supposed to represent. All right, you'll also see in here that you're going to see pieces of metal that he's just taken and he's put them in here. And then look at the faces. Those faces, and the more you look at this, I really would ask you to look at this over and over, because like here, this almost looks like a little baby face if you're looking sideways. You've got a face here. There are faces all over. Those are the rioters, and what do they feel? Now remember, the piece is called Top-of-the-Line Steel. S-T-E-E-L, what he would have used to make the cars with. But it could also be a homonym, S-T-E-A-L, because these people were rioting and looting stores. So there we have another piece to it. If you'll notice me standing next to it, how large this piece is. He makes lots of large pieces. And his wife got very upset with him because he made these large pieces. So at some points, she would go to her husband and say, you're going to have to get rid of some of those. We don't have any more room. And so you know what he did with these large pieces? He buried them Wouldn't you love to be able to go dig one of these up, because his pieces are in many well-known museums. If you want to know more about Thornton Dial, there is a DVD that you can get, or you can go on YouTube and look at it, and it's called Mr. Dial Has Something to Say. And it's very interesting, his take on art, especially since he was self-taught. So I would encourage you to go and look up more about Thornton Dial.